The night was alive with anticipation, the kind of electric buzz that only a major boxing match could ignite. Under the blazing lights of the arena, two of America's finest stepped into the ring, each carrying the weight of their ambitions, their legacies, and the eyes of a nation. Ryan Garcia, the young phenom with lightning in his fists and a smile that masked his ferocity, faced off against DEVIN Haney, the cerebral technician whose every move seemed calculated to perfection. This wasn't just a fight. It was a collision of styles, wills, and dreams, a spectacle that promised to etch itself into the annals of boxing history. The crowd's roar was deafening as the announcer's voice boomed, introducing the combatants. Garcia, bouncing on his toes, exuded confidence. His eyes locked on Haney, who stood stoic, his calm demeanor betraying none of the storm brewing within. The bell rang, and the dance began. Garcia wasted no time, his hands a blur as he darted forward, launching a jab that sliced through the air. Haney, ever the strategist, slipped it effortlessly, his head movement a masterclass in evasion. The opening moments were tentative, each man probing for weaknesses, feeling out the rhythm of the other. Garcia's speed was evident, his punches snapping out with vicious intent, but Haney's defense was a fortress, absorbing and redirecting every assault. A quick counter from Haney, a stinging left to Garcia's body, drew a gasp from the crowd. It was a reminder that while Garcia brought the flash, Haney wielded precision like a surgeon's scalpel. The round ended with both men unscathed but clearly aware of the challenge ahead. The tension in the arena was palpable, the fans already sensing they were witnessing something special. As the second round began, Garcia upped the ante. He feinted, left, then exploded with a right hand that grazed Haney's chin. The crowd erupted, feeding off Garcia's aggression. But Haney, unfazed, responded with a crisp combination, a 1-2 that snapped Garcia's head back. The exchange set the tone, Garcia's raw power against Haney's technical brilliance. The two circled, their footwork a study in contrast, Garcia's explosive bursts versus Haney's measured steps. A low blow from Garcia, unintentional but sharp, prompted a brief pause as the referee issued a warning. Haney shook it off, his focus unbroken, and retaliated with a vicious hook to Garcia's ribs. The bell sounded and the fighters returned to their corners, their faces already showing the strain of battle. By the third round, the fight was heating up. Garcia, sensing the need to assert dominance, unleashed a flurry of punches, his hands moving so fast they seemed to multiply. Haney, caught against the ropes, weathered the storm, his guard high, his body twisting to deflect the worst of the onslaught. The crowd was on its feet, screaming as Garcia poured on the pressure. But Haney's composure held firm. He slipped, under a wild right, countering with a left that landed flush on Garcia's jaw. The shot stunned Garcia momentarily, and Haney seized the moment, driving a hard right to the body. The round ended with both men trading blows in the center of the ring, neither willing to yield. The fans roared their approval, knowing they were watching a classic unfold. The fourth and fifth rounds saw the fight's rhythm settle into a brutal ebb and flow. Garcia's aggression was relentless, his punches carrying the kind of power that could end the night in an instant. Haney, though, was a puzzle he couldn't quite solve. Every time Garcia seemed to gain the upper hand, Haney would counter with a combination that stole his momentum. A particularly sharp uppercut from Haney in the fifth caught Garcia clean, sending a ripple of concern through his corner. But Garcia's heart was undeniable. He absorbed the punishment and fired back, landing a looping left that forced Haney to retreat. The exchanges were breathtaking, each man pushing the other to the brink, their skills on full display. The sixth round brought a shift. Garcia, perhaps sensing the fight slipping into Haney's control, dug deep. He feinted, drawing Haney's guard up, then unleashed a blistering right hand that crashed into Haney's temple. The impact was seismic. Haney's legs wobbled, and the arena exploded. Garcia pounced, his punches coming in waves, each one aimed at finishing the job. Haney, dazed but defiant, clinched to buy time, his arms wrapping around Garcia as the referee hovered. The crowd was in a frenzy, sensing a knockout was near, but Haney's resilience shone through. He weathered the storm, firing back with a desperate counter that caught Garcia off guard. The bell saved both men from further punishment, and they staggered to their corners, their faces etched with the toll of war. As the fight moved into the later rounds, fatigue began to creep in. Garcia's punches, while still dangerous, lost some of their snap. Haney, too, was breathing heavily, his movements a touch slower, yet neither man backed down. The seventh round saw Haney regain control, his jab finding its mark with metronomic precision. He peppered Garcia's face, reddening the skin around his eyes while Garcia struggled to close the distance. A vicious body shot from Haney drew a wince from Garcia, and for a moment, it seemed the tide had turned. But Garcia's spirit was unbreakable. He roared back with a combination that forced Haney to cover up, the crowd chanting his name as he fought through the pain. The eighth and ninth rounds were a testament to both men's endurance. The pace, though slower, was still relentless, each punch carrying the weight of their dreams. Garcia landed a series of hooks that rocked Haney, but Haney's counters were surgical, targeting Garcia's body to sap his strength. The crowd was split, some chanting for Garcia's power, others marveling at Haney's artistry. A cut opened above Garcia's eye in the ninth, blood trickling down his face, but he fought on, undeterred. Haney, too, bore the marks of battle, a swelling under his left eye testament to Garcia's power. The fight was too close to call, every moment a battle for supremacy. The 10th round was a microcosm of the fight itself, brutal, beautiful, and fiercely contested. Garcia, bloodied but unbowed, launched a desperate assault, his punches wild but heavy. Haney, his face a mask of determination, slipped and countered, his hands finding gaps in Garcia's defense. A thunderous right from Garcia staggered Haney, but Haney fired back with a combination that silenced the crowd. The bell rang, and the fighters embraced briefly, a moment of mutual respect amidst the chaos. The final 2 rounds were a war of attrition. Garcia, sensing the need for a knockout, threw everything he had. His punches, though slower, still carried devastating power, and a left hook in the 11th rocked Haney's head back. Haney, though, was a master of survival. He clinched when needed, countered when he could, and kept Garcia at bay with his jab. The 12th round was a fitting climax, both men emptying their tanks in a flurry of punches. Garcia landed a looping, overhand right that drew a roar from the crowd, but Haney answered with a pinpoint left that snapped Garcia's head back. The final bell sounded, and the arena erupted, the fighters collapsing into their corners, spent but proud. The post-fight scene was one of raw emotion. Both men stood in the center of the ring, their faces swollen, their bodies bruised, but their spirits intact. The announcer's voice cut through the noise, reading the judges' scorecards. The decision was tight, a testament to the closeness of the fight. When the result was announced, whether a unanimous decision for Garcia, a split decision for Haney, or a draw, the crowd's reaction was deafening. Both fighters raised their hands, acknowledging the fans who had witnessed their epic struggle. The respect between them was evident, a nod to the shared sacrifice of the ring. As the broadcast wrapped, the narrator's voice returned, thick with awe. This was more than a fight. It was a statement, a declaration of what boxing could be when 2 warriors left everything in the ring. Garcia and Haney had delivered a classic, a fight that would be replayed and debated for years to come. The fans, still buzzing, filed out of the arena, their voices hoarse from cheering, their minds replaying the moments that had defined the night. For those watching at home, the call to action was clear. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. This was boxing at its finest, a reminder of why the sport captured hearts and imaginations. As the lights dimmed and the ring was dismantled, one truth lingered. Garcia and Haney had shocked the world, and their legacy was secure.